Jesus is risen. Jesus is alive. Hallelujah. Indeed, as the responsorial psalm says, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. But why do we rejoice today? We rejoice because our faith in Jesus has been vindicated. Truth has triumphed over falsity, justice over injustice, and the tragedy has turned into comedy. That the events that we have commemorated in these last few days, especially on Good Friday, were just like one of the episodes of the Superman movies. First, we see an innocent and helpless victim who is being attacked, robbed, kidnapped, and tortured by a wicked assailant. And we feel so bad seeing the bad guy triumph. Then, almost at the time where the helpless victim has given up hope and is at the time of death, from the sky comes Superman to the rescue. He battles and defeats the bad guy and rescue the helpless and innocent victim. And we feel happy inside for the triumph of justice. The story of the suffering and death of Jesus on Good Friday is the story of the triumph of falsity over truth, injustice over justice, evil over goodness. That Jesus was falsely charged of the crime. He was charged of the crimes he did not commit. He was unjustly condemned and sentenced to a death he did not deserve. His good friend betrayed him. His trusted companions abandoned and deserted him. His number one man denied him. And the people he loved were demanding for his crucifixion, and they chose to have a bandit Barabbas released in his place. It was a story of betrayal and lies, dishonesty and meanness, a story of unfaithfulness and wicked violence directed against an innocent and apparently helpless victim. And this has occurred on Good Friday when we see Jesus scourged, mocked, and led on the death march, nailed on the cross, where he dies a few hours later and hastily buried in the tomb. If that were the end of the story, it would be a very bad story, a tragedy. But thanks be to God, it is not. That death is not the end of the story. There is one more chapter, and this is the most important one, because as the saying goes, those who laugh last, laugh best. And in the last chapter of the story of Jesus, we see him rise from the dead in all his glory and majesty. That Jesus is vindicated. His enemies are shamed and confused. Jesus regains his eternal glory with the Father. That Jesus is the Lord who will prevail over all mankind. His enemies are included. And for us, and for his embattled followers, this is good news. Indeed, it is good news to know that truth is immortal. We can suppress truth. We can accuse it of being lie, of being a lie. We can condemn it, torture it, kill it, and bury it in the grave. But on the third day, truth will rise again. Remember this, and do not give up on truth, even when everybody seems to give up on it. Do not give up on truth. Do not give up on justice. Do not give up on doing what is right. True will always be true. Just will always be just. Right will always be right. Even when the world around us would want to take it otherwise. And we must learn to believe in the sun, even when the sun is not shining, knowing that by and by it will shine again. It is really the end of the story that matters. It is how the story ended that counts. That is why the church is inviting us all to rejoice and be glad, even when we have gone through difficult, very difficult times, through betrayal, unjust discrimination, lies, misrepresentation, or even when the enemy seems to be winning in the battle in our life. Today, Christ has won, and we know that with Him, we will overcome. We know that in Jesus, we too will win.